Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the TI7 Hub. We're going to be taking a look at our final game. Winner goes to TI. It's going to be Clutch Gamers versus Execration, Lyrical, Lumi. We got Neil Tsunami as well as Breaky CPK all here for the panel. And Tsunami, it's your first time being on the panel for Southeast Asia, if I'm not mistaken. How you feeling?
This is new territory for me, at least specifically in the context of the Southeast Asia qualifier. I'm well familiar with Clutch Gamers, and you know, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that they have made it this far. I had seen them qualify for many lands in the past. They weren't able to, unfortunately, show up to all of them. It was mainly just the Manila Masters in their own home country that they were able to show up to, but if there was anyone that you needed a visa to, it's going to be this one, and it's going to be this next game, as this is going to determine who shows up to TI.
Absolutely. Breaky, you got a chance to check out that last game, and the Drow Ranger strategy ended up being a little bit too strong. I do believe we have a draft that we can hop into in just a second as well, so that way we can see it. But seeing a little bit of the same types of bands as happened in game number 2, anything stick out to you so far in this one?
I mean, yeah, well, looking back at that previous game real quickly, too, it just, you know, it was a game where, man, Execration just played out of their minds as far as the early game went. But to be fair, that was the only way that they were going to win, it seemed like. If they really let PA get that BKB much earlier on and, you know, let Clutch Gamers kind of find their groove, then it was going to be trouble for them. But definitely credit to them with that strat. And so what I am noticing, we got an Omni Knight by Clutch Gamers reacting to Lena of sorts, you could argue. But the Rubik coming out from Execration, pretty good against the Omni Knight.
Yeah. Lumi, we've had a lot of love for the Fly Solo Rubik. This one, I'm guessing, is probably going to be a RR Rubik.
I mean, it depends on the cores that they pick, right?
Yeah.
It's shown that they have no trouble swapping all the players. The Omni Knight is actually one of Clutch Gamers' best heroes, although it's always banned out against some second phase. So I guess they felt like they wanted to pick it up guaranteed. So they do first phase it. The other big thing to talk about is that Puck is a hero that you always see picked, and it was picked in the first 2 games, and would not surprise me it just gets completely left out here.
Yeah, I guess that's a little bit of an interesting look for it this time. They're going to ban out the TA. They don't want that good matchup against the Lena. Still a Quap in the pool, which has been the... I want to see statistics on how many times Lena versus Quap has happened in these qualifiers, because I feel like it's every damn game.
And I want to say drastically been kind of confirmed earlier that that's not even Southeast Asia. That's just like all regions right now.
I can corroborate that.
What have you been mainly focusing on?
In terms of what?
As far as your casting.
Oh, my wheelhouse has been EU Dota.
Okay.
Currently, we're in a similar stage with Singularity.
And Planet
Danish
Dog.
Bear?
No, I think it's Danish Bears. Singularity, Danish Bears, and Mouse Sports. And Mouse Sports are currently in winners finals.
Yeah. Gotcha.
AKA X at Finum, and they're looking pretty solid. They've been running a lot of early game drafts, and it looks like that just seems to be the theme in all regions, as you just said in the previous game. A little bit too strong of an early game.
Yeah. It was tough. And the other cool thing, you can take this over to the Europe scene if you want and let them know about what's going on in Southeast Asia. They ran the Queen of Pain in the off lane with the Drow Ranger going on.
Just
so
last game, yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
So at what stage did the Drow Ranger pick come out, though?
It was 4th, if I'm not mistaken.
And the Queen of Pain was last.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it completely caught him off guard, blew the roof off. But now we've got a Warlock in conjunction with Omni Knight Sand King. This is just like team fight, sustain, throw in some combo breakers in there, and finally the Puck's going to come out.
Yeah, Execration sticking to their Puck. Again, we've been seeing in the hands of Nando over there, as we talked about before and saw earlier in the series, so not too surprised about that one. But the Warlock's been kind of interesting. We really haven't seen a lot of Warlock when it comes to support options. Of course, the Chaotic Offering, very, very strong initiation tool, but as far as other phases of the game, could definitely be a bit weaker, is safe to say. So Upheaval is going to be okay this game, but, you know, hero like Puck really doesn't care. And you got to be careful with Rubik on top of that. You know, stealing that Chaotic Offering could be a very deadly ability to give up to him, although ideally it shouldn't be the easiest to steal, but if he does, it could change fights.
Even Fatal Bonds is great to steal, honestly.
True.
Like, with all the other AoE fight that Execration has, that could also destroy. Man, they have used a lot of their reserve time.
I think Execration, or Clutch Gamer rather, is in a very dangerous spot in the draft because they don't have a good answer to Puck. Previously, they were comfortable giving away the puck because they had the Night Stalker answer. And it seems like their answer now is going to be Ember Spirit, as you can root and prevent things like Deface from coming out. But still, it's very easy for an Execration to itemize against that by picking up a Yule Scepter on puck. So I think the result of the previous game has, not to be a Dota psychologist here, but put Execration relatively far ahead here on the draft.
I would really like to see Execration go for some very high-tempo hero that can take objectives early. I'm wondering if even like a Nature's Prophet or something like that could be good. Although it feels like this might end up being the puck in the off lane. We've seen it occasionally safe lane, but something like that that allows them to actually hit their stride before Clutch Gamers can come online. Because if they do come online, they get into a Blink Dagger on Sand King, it's going to be so hard to fight them.
I think you have a lot of time before Clutch
Really?
comes online.
Okay.
I mean, yesterday we saw like Clutch getting Midases on Omni Knight. They had a Nyx Assassin. They were getting Midases on that too.
Yeah, Boombex is a super greedy kind
Yep.
of player. So even if they do have a draft that kind of leads them to be early game oriented, they still kind of play it more late game-ish.
Tusk gets taken. A snowball save.
Please ban Bloodseeker.
Please.
Bloodseeker
I wanna see
rips
that.
apart this whole team.
I want to see Bloodseeker. Don't ban Bloodseeker. We got some more kick action.
With the Ags Tusk, yeah. That was fun.
No, not like, okay, if it gets to Act Test, you get the combo. But even before that, like, Rupture, good on everybody apart from against the Ember. Omni Knight does give you some resistance against that, but
Yeah.
looks like they rather take out a just a kind of strong frontline pusher, which is something that Gabe was leading to, like a hero that can hit buildings.
They definitely need physical, I think it's safe to say. Omni Knight with the Repel, Ember Spirit having the Flame Guard. This is not going to be the easiest team to break through when it comes to their magic presence here. So that's what I think was kind of nice about the last draft, to be fair, with the Drow thrown in with the Quap and the Lina. It's like, on paper, the whole lineup screamed intense magic damage. But to be fair, especially with the Drow thrown in, I mean, they were dealing very good physical as well. So I'm not suggesting they're going to pick a Drow here by any means. In fact,
That's
they
already
can't. It's banned. So. But, yeah, definitely more on the physical side, I would think here.
I think they would have picked it if they could get it. Lycan is the other possibility that we can get again
True.
from Execration.
Or for the first time. It was Clutch Gamer playing
Right.
the Lycan before.
I think more of a diffusal option
Because the Guardian Angel.
because of Guardian Angel, yeah, might be nice. And that Flame Guard even itself.
Have
So
you been seeing any Juggernaut around here?
Oh, that's all
yeah.
Execration picks, Juggernauts.
Well then, it's looking pretty sweet right now given the draft. The only issue is that, yes, so Guardian Angel is going to be useful, but it's only going to be specifically against the Juggernaut. But Diffusal isn't too far out of Juggernaut's typical itemization that it's not
no.
that big of a deal anyway.
core in a lot of ways, and in some cases,
To an
even
extent, yeah.
Manta Diffusal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he could actually, as boring as it is, he could definitely be a solid pick here.
I just want to see something early that hits towers and isn't too vulnerable to
Is
like
Troll
laning.
ever picked up
Yep,
around here?
they do play
So-
Troll. Sven, okay.
Son.
Was that game
Execration.
1 we saw him? Yeah.
I don't know
Not
if I love it.
necessarily the
I don't-
Diffusal carry, but
Nor do I see the use of Warcry this game.
I feel like Veno could be good here for Clutch.
Yeah.
You get the Venomancer ult plus the Fatal Bonds. Makes Sven's life really hard. The only danger with the Veno pick is that you really start to lack some serious catch for a puck. And looks like they're going to go with the Razor to counter the Sven,
Yeah,
but
that just seems like a response pick.
the same issue is that you just don't have answer to puck.
All right, panel, final game to decide who it is indeed that goes to TI. Clutch Gamers or Execration, putting you on the spot. Tell me what you're thinking.
oh man, I mean this is
Go
a
ahead.
big deal.
Yeah?
This is a big deal.
Like I'm starting to feel the pressure now. This is it. This is the last team from Southeast Asia going to be coming here, going even to TI, Execration, Clutch Gamers. I don't know. It's a toss-up. I'll let you go first.
How kind.
At least I can say that both the drafts are relatively even, but I think that Execration have more room for error, whereas Clutch Gamers, they have some comfort picks, but at this point, comfort picks are not going to carry you out of the game. Like, Execration has done so much research, most likely, on Clutch Gamers. They know how these heroes are likely to be played. I think I'm going to give it to Execration, even though I do like Clutch Gamers. I think they're more skilled as a team. I like Execration's draft better.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going Clutch Gamers then.
Okay.
No. I am going Clutch Gamers, so I picked them the first 2 games. Didn't win the second one, of course, but I'm going to stick with my gut there. I do think the Razor final pick is actually a good one. You mentioned the Sven counter in a lot of ways, so I think that they had a good answer here. Yes, puck could prove to be an issue, but team fight's so strong on their side. And again, the final pick Razor, I think, could really hurt that Sven as far as his presence here. So definitely leaning towards Clutch Gamers.
All right, well, thank you guys so much again for the insight, the thoughts, the feelings. Lumi, are you agreeing with our expert panel on the thoughts? Hello, guys. How's it going?
I almost feel like the Sven was like a smokes and mirror pick.
Okay.
Yes, you get the whole like, yeah, Razor counter Sven situation, but there's a lot of magic damage with the Lina. There's a lot of damage, magic damage with Puck, and I just feel like those 2 heroes aren't really well accounted for by the Clutch Gamer draft. Remember in game 1, Tusk, every time he was sharding people, he was getting kills?
Yeah.
There's still a little of that going on. Like, if you shard the Warlock or you shard maybe the Razor even, like, he gets in trouble. With that said, the Omni Knight could bail those people out that do get sharded. My final thing is, if Rappy could get a good laning stage on the Omni Knight, I think he could take over the game.
Okay.
I'm going with a Clutch, but it's unclear to me whether it's like a gut pick or then. I think the draft is really, really close.
I think so, too. I think the defining factor is going to be how much the Razor is able to get damage stolen in these fights. If he steals a lot of damage, that probably is going to seal the deal.
I don't think the Razor is a good pick, honestly. Yes, it counters his Sven, but like this team is so mobile that, like you said, it's going to be hard to get a good link. Then you're looking, okay, well, can we stun them and guarantee a good link? What the hell is a disable here from Clutch? You have a Sand King.
This could be really big here. They're going to walk through. They know that they're up here on the high ground, and with Tusk, this is one of the best things about this hero is his early game potential for finding kills. They're going to walk in. He's caught out. That's going to be first blood, most likely, unless there's some way to stun it. But no, there's going to be the catch. First blood onto Armel. They're going to have another shards, but they don't want to end up committing it.
So they get 3 runes? Yep, they get 3 runes as well.
Well, Rappy at least got a rune, so you know, there's something.
The only thing Armel got out of that is that he gets to TP back mid and get a better block off of James, but he missed the block. So now it's just like completely fine.
James gets the late strike rate double stun. Doesn't matter that much, but except getting in their head a little bit maybe. The psychologists of Dota.
So Tusk is also a very strong kind of roaming support early on against Ember Spirit, until he gets his level 6. So it's gonna be a rough one here for Clutch Game.
Oh, I like this too. It sort of gives Leemic an opportunity to possibly get a couple of denies in there, holding the creeps back and going too close to the tower. You talk about the Omni Knight. The other thing to keep in mind here is probably the timing of the Sand King Blink Dagger, always a factor, but it seemed like sometimes Clutch Gamers have been a little bit slow to get that up on boombacks.
Yeah, it depends on how greedy he wants to play this game in terms of time dedicated to roam, time dedicated to getting his own item up. But we'll see. It depends on how their laning stage goes, right? If the laning stage go well for Armel and friends, then he doesn't need to. He could like focus more on Blink Dagger. I do want to point out that this game, it's going to be Raging Potato playing the puck. He does have a very, very good puck, but it's saying a lot to have not Nando playing it. Nando, you know, obviously often regarded as one of the best puck players in C. Although, you know, Raging Potato is also very good.
Maybe it depends more upon the Sven as well. The fact that the Sven's there, they want to end up running it there.
The crazy thing is that he also plays as Sven, Raging Potato. He played it for Mineski when it was Mineski and Miracle.
Armel hasn't leveled anything up yet.
Okay.
I wonder, like, there's always those little plays that you can do trying to dodge a Dragon Slave with like a Sleight of Fist or something, but well, now leveling up 2 points in Flame Guard, saving the next one to see if he wants to try and go in for the full kill, but instead just gonna zone lean out for the moment. The early laning stage, we can see that Lina having a great time with the help of Leemic here is causing trouble for the Ember Spirit.
That's a
Boombax is
kill,
gonna
I
be
think.
there again. He does end up taking that point in Slight, trying to back out, but it is going to be first blood. Now Boombax caught as well. He
Courier?
doesn't have another Burrow Strike. It's possible that he can get away. The shards will not be there in time, and Boombax actually thinks about turning back around, breaks the clarity, and Lemic's a little bit upset about that.
Silver lining again for Clutch Gamer. The Courier did actually die to a tower shot. Not even sure why the hell the Courier was that deep, but I think it was the running item to the
It was a
Tusk.
Tangos.
Okay. Well, the tangos were delivered, but at a very heavy price here, as it did die to the building. That's a lot of gold for Clutch Gamer, with the lanes going poorly.
Well, Nando having himself a decent time down in the bottom. It's been actually kind of rough against Gabby. You can see 15-9 versus 6-1. So the early laning stage right now, sort of disparate depending upon which one you're looking at.
Yeah. The other big thing that's going decently here for Clutch Gamer is the top lane matchup. The Puck and the Omni Knight trading more evenly than you would normally imagine. Like, there's a couple more denies here coming out from Raging Potato, but apart from that,
Oh, Armel mid again. He got snowballed in. And this is one of those things. If you happen to catch it, it's just so quick and easy to kill that Ember Spirit off.
you can see that the two supports from the Clutch Gamer side, they're really unsure of which lanes to help out. If they're there in the mid lane to take too much EXP, that's a problem. But if they're not there, Armel's dies every single time to the Ice Shards. And the power of this Tusk pick has shown off time and time again. Tusk versus Lina, I believe, a game earlier we've seen today. And now Tusk versus Ember Spirit.
Yeah, it was against Mushi when he was playing
Oh,
Lina,
that's
and
right,
they kept
yeah.
on catching him. So frustrating to play against, definitely. And, I mean, I'm thinking about this now. You've got Lina winning her lane, Puck and Omni breaking even, but the big X factor is going to be this Sven, who's just been so hampered.
Mid lane, Armel
I think
sharded
run it
again here.
again.
Nice dodge here using the flame. Sorry, not flame guard, a sleight of fist, and now he does have chains available if he does want to use it. We'll pop the chain, the Burrow Strike. All the meanwhile, nice dodging of backwards of the LSA. The snowball will come in, and looks like the flame guard ends at the wrong time. Lumic's gonna be fine. He pops the sigil here on Armel. One more Dragon Slave. No mana for it.
Well.
Fable will get blocked by the. Oh my God, that's way too close.
Yeah, that was really close. Meanwhile, top lane, more action going. Rappy trying to punish there. A lot of rotations mid, but the biggest thing is that Execration ended up getting away. Still no deaths on the entire team, and they're coming in with Fly Solo. He wants to try and make a move. Might end up getting punished for that. He will be able to back out. But like I was saying, it's just you have this Ember Spirit who is definitely hurting mid. You know, he's died 3 times at this point, but he's still, well, yeah, it's struggling. He's getting levels, and this is a hero that can catch back up with kills once you get those levels. As long as he doesn't fall too far behind. It looks like Armel might end up dying yet again in the mid lane. This might be a little bit too much for him to come back from his Fly Solo. Also going to get ran at, slowed down. He gets to the shrine, but is this really going to be enough to keep him alive? I think that they just stick around and he's still dead. They have the lift if they need to use it.
Yeah.
Fly Solo might have just wanted to accept his fate there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say about this situation for Clutch Gamer. If supports are there, Armel dies. If supports are not there, he still dies. Jungling is the right play, and just try to get his level 6. Because once level 6 does come, then he shouldn't die anymore. But I think the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
Far and away. Top lane, Rappy. I believe the coil was used, and he's out of mana, so no more. One more right click is all they need. They have the Orb of Venom on the Puck.
The wraparound, he's just like, all right, see you later, guys, bye. And
Yeah.
he's going to be fine.
Crawling Blade, man. And now he should be okay, popping a Purification.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. So, Omni Knight, he's going to go back to farming. He's going to have another Purification soon. They might see if they can do something here, Lemic. Maybe a snipe, but it could be a little bit tough. I think he's sticking around. He wants to see if he can catch him, maybe. Nah, it's not going to be there. Doesn't even break the clarity. Well, in your estimation, which is the worst thing? How heavily crippled the Sven has been in terms of his farm, or the Ember Spirit? Which is worse?
I think it's worse to have a cripple Sven for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's easier for Ember to catch back up. Like, yeah, sure, he's getting dumpster on right now, but he could just, like, join a couple fight, triple remnant, get a couple kills, and be right back in it. For Sven to catch back up, you need stacks. Look on the map. Where is stacks? I don't see any, because you have the Tusk as well as Rubik spending so much time shutting down mid that, yes, they've done their job, but they haven't ensured that Sven gets good farm. Rappy on the top lane perhaps in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, thinking about it, the shards blocks off, but not fully. A little bit of a curious shards. They'll still have vision with the sigil, and gonna throw out another one of those orbs. They pull him forward. The snowball, silence, stun, coil, every damn thing, but they're managing still to get off the Guardian Angel, and now Leemic just forces TP away. He is gonna make the escape. Raging Potato,
He's got
no
orb.
TP, but as you mentioned, the orb, he's gonna be fine.
He thought about getting a double kill on Clutch Gamer. So yeah, back to talking about Sven versus Ember. So there's no stack for the Sven, and also even if he does get his farm catching back up, there's still the Razor counter, right? Oh, fly solo, gonna
Yeah,
get
it's
zip.
just gone, and Rappy, they turn now. This is a big kill for Armel. He has to find it. I think that they should even give it over to him if possible.
He's out of mana.
James.
James is just moving faster. LSA is gonna hit. I don't.
Okay, well, they end up taking the kill still with Rappy. That's
Yeah,
fine.
That's fine, yeah. And that's kind of what I meant about that little engagement, right? Armel, like, got wrecked in lane, but he's still a fighting force because he's going for this Magic Ember build, where Sven is going to be a non-factor until a long, long time from now. Okay.
Yeah, and looking at it, Gabby, maybe one of those heroes that can help to carry them through. It's not like a hero that can do
fly
a ton,
solo,
but
goes
fly
to
solo,
ward,
yeah,
and
he's
nice.
dead again. But that's the thing is that, like, if you look at the way that this lineup is built from Clutch Gamers, you have a lot of different other playmaking heroes. And I think that as long as also your Warlock is getting levels, which he's almost at level 5, they can definitely still move around the map and find themselves kills. Nando, they do have a way to break that TP and going to be able to find another kill for Armel.
Yeah.
After his first one.
Top lane looks like Gabby in a lot of trouble. Eats a bunch of nukes. Does have 7 charges on his magic stick. Can he actually pop it off in time? It does not matter as the Rowan should secure the kill. Yeah, Omni Knight very late to the party. I think he was occupied on the bottom side.
Yeah, and they're going to trade towers here. You would have loved to be able to hang on to your Razor. He's one of the heroes that's actually doing well, but Raging Potato now trying to find Boombacks, and, well, there's Leemic here as well. They can burrow strike through. Yeah. Still the snowball to follow. They're diving deep for this one, and no TP rotations are starting to come over. He's just going to Sandstorm, but cannot get away from that magical damage from Raging Potato.
Yeah. We're seeing a little bit of slight synergy here with the Tusk rolling in the puck just to get off the Raging Rift. It wasn't necessarily used in that particular engagement, but it's going to be a decent way to actually play against, let's say, Rappy, if they want to get off a silence pre-blink.
You do have to be careful, of course.
Yeah, rolling in
is definitely something that could wreck your day.
For sure. That's more like an early game play.
Armel taking a ton of damage there onto the Sven, yet again in trouble. Gonna be brought down, and now James and RR just gonna be fodder as, well, they do take down the tower, but so too will die the Rubik. And more gold back towards Armel.
Yeah, easy catch up. Ember Spirit is like, it's not about shutting down in lane, it's also preventing kills from down the line, which they're not doing a good job of.
So 11 minutes in, we can take a look at the net worth. The top 3 spots, or rather the top spot's still held by James, but the next 3 are Dire heroes. Yep. Meanwhile, the Sven still very far behind all of the other cores. In fact, the Tusk is almost ahead of him, and Rappy just going to run at Nando, and he's forced to back out. There's not much they can do, and they want to go after him yet again.
Also, I think the important thing to point out is that Rappy is going for Hannah Midas. Evidently, he's not worried about, the state of his allies. No mech, no early mech. Just gonna go for econ, and that's generally how they win their game. Clutch Gamer.
Well, they found a couple more. There's going to be the jump forward with the Remnant. James, they saw that there were people coming over, and he does manage to get out in time, but the Tusk might end up being in trouble. They don't realize, or they should realize now that Fly Solo has his ulti, and I think everybody needs to back out before they end up dropping the rock immediately there. RR wanted to go for the steal. It does end up stealing Purification instead. Not able to turn it back around. And Raging Potato, I mean, he threw out a Dream Coil, which stops them from chasing him any further. But this is going to be a tower. Clutch Gamers are potentially in a state where you can't really fight them as Execration.
Well, the Warlock ult was used. So maybe you could fight them once the Warlock ult is down. But now I believe he's working on BOTs after this, so he could basically keep on ganking nonstop. And I think the big thing for me is, once Rappy's Hannah Midas is done, what is the downtime till mech? Because once Clutch Gamer gets mech, and they have mech plus, let's say, Warlock Ultimate for every fight, I don't see them losing fights.
Yeah.
Especially to a Sven that has damage of a kitten.
And he's going to be going back for the Echo Saber, I believe, in a little while. Mask of Madness first.
Yep.
He might not actually go back for the full Echo Saber.
Might be like
depending on
a
how he wants to do it.
MOM Blink kind of build.
Yeah. I think that that's what he needs to do more so than anything else. And like just now getting the stacks up, this Sven is not happy. You do have the puck with the Blink Dagger done. Raging Potato going to try and get his team into a position where they can finally start to make something happen.
Yep. I like the Blink Dagger build first on Puck over the Veil this game because there are some very important targets that he needs to cast Waning Rift on. Warlock being one of them, obviously the Omni Knight being another. Not sure whether he could get off so many silences at the beginning of the fight though, but that's going to be something that Raging Potato has to do.
10-6, but still feeling like Clutch Gamers are the ones that are sort of dictating the tempo of this game. And maybe the slightly more effective heroes right now, because the net worth that's on particular heroes, like it doesn't matter that Warlock only has Arcanes, because that's all he really needs at this point.
He's level 6.
Yeah, he's happy.
Online. He's like the best fly solo hero, you know? Just get him some levels and he's good to go.
So pressure now up towards the top. Armel.
Interesting to see the talent choice here from Armel. 30 damage over the spell amp. Is he thinking about some sort of physical build or?
I mean, he already has the Veil, just about.
Right, so stack more spell amp, right?
I don't know. I think that, I mean, 8% spell amp isn't great. I think we've seen some go for the damage.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
I mean, I'm no Ember player, but
yeah,
we'll see how he takes this build.
It's just gotten so nerfed over time that I think it's pretty okay.
All right. Definitely will help him, like, just like, you know, click jungle creeps faster and stuff like that. I don't think he's going to transition to a physical damage build or anything.
Waning Rift, they back out again. Gabby still fine. Here's a Veil, another nice timing, and with this next round of big ultimates up from the Warlock, from Omni Knight having his Guardian Angel, this could be that time where you try and finish off the map's Tier 1 towers, and meanwhile giving a lot of room to the Sand King just to farm up that Blink Dagger. He's only about 1,000 gold away from it.
Yeah, because of their item and hero composition, it makes it super hard for Execration to fight into Clutch Gamers. And that means Clutch Gamer will have time to slow down the game and play the economic game, which is, I think, traditionally where their strong point is. And maybe that's what the Razor pick is really all about, right? It's a hero that is hard to fight into in the mid game, especially when there's Rappy and the Warlock backing him up. And as a result, you can see the game slowing down top lane here. A little bit of initiation flying through Puck, just harassing with his orbs and Waning Rift.
It doesn't really do anything, though. Like, you just have so much sustain on these guys. You've got Arcane Boots on at least 2 of them. And now,
This push is,
take that down.
I think, a little risky, though, at the same time.
I mean, they still have Warlock ulti here. As long as they don't end up catching Fly solo with Waning Rift, I think it's fine.
Right.
Raging Potato might just be able to do that. They're standing forward, and as you mentioned, they have no desire to really take this. That's a snowball, but it should be just to the death of him as he's snowballed in onto Gabby. Burrow Strike a little bit off the mark still. Lemic there. They get the Waning Rift silence off, thinking about going for the Warlock ulti. It connects onto 2. A lot of damage, but it's going to be the Dream Coil snap.
RR ports in with, like, no HP.
I don't know if this is going to end up being good. They take down 1, they take down 2, and now maybe going to take down a second tower. Clutch Gamers looking good. They're going to come back to try and keep James away from their tower here, but it does look like they might be able to secure a Tier 2. James TPing out. The Burrow not going to quite be there in time. And they are able to get out. So Tier 2 tower still stands in the top lane for the Radiant. Simultaneously, it's there in the bottom lane for the Dire.
I think, like, despite everything, you lost 2 supports here from Execration, and I think they went ahead because of the tower damage that they traded. Yeah. Lina did vastly more tower damage than, like, the 3-4 members of Clutch Gamer up top. They got the Warlock ult on cooldown once again, so it's not all bad here. And now James is on the hunt. Shadowblade Yules.
He's not quick enough. His Shadowblade's going to run out in a second. He needs to get out. But Midas, Mechanism now done for the Omni Knight as well on top of the Arcanes. I would imagine Greaves is the next big pickup.
Yeah.
And this Death Ball strategy, Razor, Omni Knight, Warlock, it's time to go.
Yeah, the 5-man here is looking incredibly strong for Clutch Gamer, but looks like it's going to be Execration trying to get themselves the Aegis for the next fight. And looks like Sven is finally online. We haven't heard from him for a long while, but with this round of item pickup with the Blink, the Mask of Manus, and perhaps even the Aegis, he should be able to frontline fairly effectively. And now it's between him and Puck, trying to find those very important key targets on the back line, your Omni Knights and your Warlocks.
This was so good by Execration, too, to pick up Roshan. They weren't showing anybody on the map. Boombax was so close to his Blink Dagger. I think that probably if you're Clutch Gamers, you go in at that point to try and take down Roche or even just secure another tower and then go for it with this Blink Dagger down on Sand King. And I think that they're probably still going to want to take this fight, but it at least denies the Aegis.
Puck. Gotta be careful here. Armel jumps in. Can he have the chain? He guessed slightly too far north. Oh my god. Raging Potato, always playing close.
Yeah. So 10-8. Still a 2,000 net worth lead for Execration. Around 3,000 experience. And looking like we might start to have some more of these battles. I mean, if you're Execration right now, how do you want to play this game out? Are you trying to push down towers yourself with this Aegis?
Split push. And if you get a pick, you get a pick. In top lane, like just guerrilla tactic and just blink away. Right now, the catch from Clutch Gamer is very weak. The only people that can catch is Sand King and to a certain extent Ember Spirit. But they can't be everywhere at once. I feel like basically pretty much Puck, Lina, and Sven, and to a certain extent they can all split push quite quickly. And I think Clutch Gamer will not be able to keep up with them. And Execration could extend their lead by doing so.
And all this death ball, all this group up and push strategy from Clutch Gamers, it's led to Execration being able to find more efficient use of the map themselves. And now you have the Lina who's top of the net worth. Sven is about to be able to finish off a BKB. When they get these two BKBs online,
they are then stronger and could fight the death ball. So
exactly.
You split push to buy time, and this is largely due to the fact that Lina went for not a Bloodstone build, right? We've been seeing Bloodstone Lina all day long, but the fact that he's gone for Yules and Shadowblade, his movement speed is so high, he has the ability to pick off solo heroes that come to defend these towers. So it's really hard for Clutch Gamer to play around this. Here comes one TP to just essentially defend the building. It's Rappy. He shouldn't die.
Yeah, and they're going to bring in the Warlock next, but you do not want to have to drop a Warlock ulti to kill off just the Lina, even at this stage in the game. But
although I'm somewhat curious that James didn't go for the cast range build.
Yeah.
Because this is something you see very frequently. If you're going to go for the Yules, if you're going to play split push, the cast range really helps in terms of finding those individual picks.
It does push the creep wave faster, given the damage.
That's for sure.
All right, this is a big play. If they could find these heroes here, Rappy trying to bait it out. They're going to do a ton of damage to him. Does he get out of there in time? No, they blow him up before it even happens. And now if Execration can get out of this without losing anybody, or even without losing the Lina, that would be so huge.
100% worth, yeah.
That was amazingly well done. Just blew him up.
Armel needs to be able to punish them for doing so. I already talked about them lacking in terms of catch. And now look at what's happening in the mid lane as they're trying to catch bottom. Nando pushes the wave in. Top lane, Puck is going... Like, they are just getting completely outsplit at this moment.
This is the sign of a really good team to me, too. Execration have switched up their styles multiple times. The fact that they're playing this different types of Dota, even if you lose this Tusk right here, I don't think you worry about it.
Do they lose the Tusk?
No, Lemik's out of... Oh, he ends up dying back in base to the Caustic. But still, I think you're perfectly fine with that.
I will say almost catching Armel. Armel needs to step it up. He needs to punish them for making the split push happen. He has the tools to do so. His hero is supposed to be able to like fire remnant forward, slight chain, right? He's been guessing wrong, which, you know, it does happen, but it's costing his team right now.
No, that's why you pick this hero. You talked about it during the draft. And if it's not happening, it's just not happening. The question that I have is, does this game become a lot easier for Execration later? It's fine to delay. It's fine to hold back. But will eventually they be able to push them, basically, outfight them?
I think so. I think they could have so much burst damage to blow up a hero in the beginning of the fight. If they could blow up Razor to ensure that the Sven have a good fight, then They definitely could outfight Clutch Gamer.
Look at this. They're ready. They're completely ready. And the whole time that this is going on, Lina is pushing
Nando's in the
along the
trees.
top lanes. If they're not careful, they're not going to be able to get back in time. Armel going away. They end up breaking the TP. Armel cannot get back to defend against Lina. They drop the Warlock ulti. Lemix just going to back out again. And there's nobody here. Lina going to maybe take down a tier 3 tower. In the meantime, there hasn't really been anything gained by Clutch Gamers. They're still losing this tower, and they have to walk all the way back home.
Oh my god.
They are completely running circles around Clutch Gamers. Execration doing it big. They might end up losing the Lina, but
Who
that's
cares?
a tier 3 tower.
Yeah,
and now
that's a
you
tier
look over
3.
here to the side. That's another kill, though. Tusk ends up going down. Rappy may be in trouble as Nando is just beating away at them, and well, that is another kill for Armel. Things starting to look a little bit better. That's going to be a stun on Nando. They might have pushed it a bit too far, and there's going to be the jump away. Yule Scepter, not on the mark.
What a play here. Yule Scepter canceling the Flame Guard here from Armel. Also allowing Nando to run away. That was his debut of the first 10-second BKB. But like you said, the big play there was canceling Armel's TP, allowing the Lina to keep on split pushing. And the shrines are now open.
Yeah. This is really impressive play from Execration. Like, they ran a full-out Drow strat before with like an off-lane Queen of Pain, and now they're running this lineup that isn't meant to split push, but they're doing it by virtue of the item choices that they've made. The laning decisions set them up beautifully for this, where they sacrificed Nando and then just tried to hold off as long as possible. Now he's the most farmed hero in the game. They're able to catch up. I'm really impressed with this Execration team.
Yep. I wonder if there's a way for Clutch Gamer to itemize themselves to have more catch, but I'm just not really seeing it. It looks like it's going to be Gabby perhaps going to get picked here on the bottom side.
And
There we
Nando
go.
turns to fight. The stun, the everything. He is gone. The TPs need to be canceled, and the Shrine about to fall.
Every time I see Razor go for a Blade Mail build, it just is terrible. It just doesn't do what you intend to do. Like, the idea behind it is like, okay, I guess I'm very efficient stats. I could stand in the front and tank, but a lot of times the situation that you just witnessed just happens. You just get chain stun. Your Blade Mail never does a single damn thing. And now it's going to be Armel getting caught. He doesn't have a Remnant out. He's going to get silenced. He's going to get chain stun. And now, well, here comes the Epicenter with the Fatal Bond looking pretty good, and they are going to blow them back up. Svendo joins the fight. Will he buy back and frame Remnant back in? I don't think so. Raging Pedo picks up the Warlock. And Warlock, okay, getting healed up a little bit. Rappy does have the Guardian Angel and the Mech. The stun.
Oh, they're just destroying him. Rappy, he doesn't have anywhere else to go. I mean, Raging Potato even thinking about going further for this. Gabby comes in. That's finally going to stop the set going. But like you said, it's just James hitting away here. Even if he does end up being able to get taken down, now they're going to be able to pressure the Tier 2 tower mid. Everything is falling apart right now for Clutch Gamers. They can't go... It's like dogs chasing around a car in the street. It's just, it's not working.
Oh my god.
They're getting ran circles around.
Yeah, I mean, this game, Execration is playing such a well-played game. And I'm saying it compared to what we saw in Game 2, right? Where they were very ahead, and then they just had, like, that classic seed throw thing where I have no idea what happened. And this game, they're like, okay, that never happened. We're going to play some world-class Dota. And they're just, like you said, making Clutch Gamer look like, what, dogs in the park running after cars or something.
I said something. It's late at night here. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. 17-14, 11,000 net worth lead. And James, the split-pushing Lina, currently has level 3 in Laguna Blade as well. This is looking like at some point Clutch... I mean, that's the thing. Like, Clutch Gamers, they run down mid that one time. That was their play. Like, all right, enough of the split pushing. We're just going to go for it. And then you end up running into the situation where you lose a Tier 3 tower up top. It looks like they want to try and make the same thing happen again, but they have to connect on their stuns, and they need a big pickoff, which they're not going to find on Raging Potato.
Okay, maybe on Nando. James, that's the target. If you could get him before BKB, Blink, Burrow Strike, everything onto James. James activates the BKB.
Oh, he's out of there. And
where's
now Lemix,
the Warlock
they get the catch.
ultimate?
They're able to get away from him. The Walrus Punch to back him out yet again. Now they're going to jump back in. Nando is there. Going to start swiping away. Pops the BKB to fight. Can't really find a target now, and they have gotten the God Strength. So now you need to run away if you're Execration. Lemix still backing away. It does look like he at least is going to be able to hold Armel in place. There's no split push happening, but I think that at this point, Execration have gotten to the stage where they can just win a team fight. They've got more net worth, and now Raging Potato chasing for more. He's going to be able to run these heroes down. Doesn't have Dream Coil, but a Yule Scepter almost in range.
Yeah, the big problem for that team fight was that Clutch Gamer did get the jump on Lina, but Warlock did not get off his ultimate. I don't know who he got picked off by, but perhaps the Sven maybe just jumped in the backline. The result was there was no Warlock ultimate, there was no Fatal Bond, and they just could not bring down the Lina in time.
I think the definitive moment in this game was when we saw Execration go in and take down Roshan. Their shot calling in this game has been superb.
Yeah. I also think the moment where they cancel Armel's TP mid.
That also. That was huge.
Armel will die here. LSA will connect.
Warlock ulti. He pump fakes it, wants to go for it now, and that's going to be not a
bad
turnaround.
ultimate. He thought that Armel would have been in trouble. Armel was able to dodge, but okay, connects it through. Now James might be in a little bit of trouble. He activates his BKB again on the right side. Looks like Sven going hard at Rappy. Rappy will heal himself back up. First team fight where Gabby actually gets off a good link. The question is, can they actually lock them down to use this link to convert it in some damage? Still chasing hard for Nando. Nando comes around. He has cheese. Will activate it, but you know, okay, Gabby's hitting pretty hard here.
This is a huge problem. They're about to all die if they're not careful. The Burrow Strike turnaround, the stun can come. Are they going to be able to bring him down? Nando needs to hit. There's going to be the Storm Hammer. He stole too much damage, and, well, the jump in almost dead. The snowball chase on Boomback's not going to be able to catch. James is dead. The turnaround for Clutch Gamers. If they can win this fight definitively, you have a ton of tower pushing potential. Gabby going to be forced back again. Another round, Epicenter. It is going to connect. James is going to go down. Oh, no. And now Execration, they're struggling at this point. This was not meant to be. And what was such a good team fight before is now turned completely around, although maybe if they can take it on Flight Solo, he does get healed back up again by the Omni Knight, trying to run away alive on 80 HP. Gabby not able to contain and take down that puck. So finally, Clutch Gamers, they win a fight, but it's still Execration with the lead.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Clutch Gamer, even though they won a huge fight where they took both Aegis and Cheese, they couldn't get any objective off of that. Man, that fight went for so long that Razor got off 2 static links. One at the Sven in the beginning, and of course one on the Lina towards the end. All right, well.
Armel's been working on this Radiance for days. Yes. It's just not happening.
He's also dying every single time. Instead of catching people split push, he is being caught out farming, so. That is a tough one.
Now Raging Potato building towards that Aghanim Scepter. He almost has it completed, I believe. A couple more pieces away from having that done, and well, that could also make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, that guarantees Gabby would never get off a fully channel static link like we saw just now, because right now Gabby just have repel on him and he just runs in with Link. Once Coil's on top, once the Axe Coil's on top, the repel or the BKB will not do anything. So they're trying to protect their Sven by limiting Gabby, and I think it will work out.
Okay. Well, that's the BKB online for Razor, and around 2,000 more gold. Doesn't seem likely to come out the next fight. With Warlock ulti back up, how do you see this next fight working out?
I mean, it's just hard to call. I think Clutch Gamer have what it takes to win a team fight, but they have to execute pretty much close to flawlessly because they are definitely down behind in net worth. But the recipe for success is get a link off on the Sven, and then rock and blow up the Lina. That's a lot of things to kind of go properly without them, let's say, coiling half their team, without snowball rescue and things like that happening.
How much does the Radiance change things, do you think, for Armel? That's now about to be completed.
I think Radiance is very good when the support on the opposition are squishy enough where the Radiance damage actually matters. So let's look at what Rubik and Tusk has. Tusk has a mech. In fact, he's about to have Grieve. Rubik has 4 staff, so that's a lot of HP regen, and a Glimmer Cape to protect himself. So honestly, I think this Radiance would not do much. I mean, sure, there's some mischance here. If the teamfight goes very long, of course, the Radiance damage does add up. In the grand scheme of things, though, I think it's just a droplet in these teamfights. Like, it's too small impact, in my opinion.
Okay. 20 to 18. The Radiant's done. Maybe it allows them to push out the waves a little bit more quickly too. Is the other
Maybe
nice
cancel a
part of it.
blink dagger or two. It's just like small stuff.
Yeah. And Raging Potato with the Aghanim Scepter done. He's got a hell of a lot of disable and ability to control and kite away the Clutch Gamers lineup. But probably Roshan is going to be the next big thing. Respawning in 3.5 minutes is, well, the movement down towards the south, not going to happen. I don't know if this smoke gank is really going to bear fruit.
Yeah. We're also getting to a point where if you're running these type of smoke ganks, if you run into the puck, you can't kill him. If you run into the Lina, you better be damn sure you could chain stun to kill him. So this is where I think at the draft I was saying, look, I think Clutch Gamer might have the better composition, but puck is going to be an issue. And these team fights have shown that, like, puck gets to live to the very end, almost every single team fight.
Execration, they smoke out themselves now. I don't believe they're showing anybody on the map, but in the mid lane, Sand King there. They're going to have the high ground for the moment, and well, it looks like they're content to try and make this move. It's pretty risky for Execration, but you could just jump up there with the puck. Boombax is there as well. They're walking forward, able to dodge away for the moment. There's already a rappel down onto one. James pops the BKB, turns to fight, but Gabby got his off as well. The huge combo comes out. Warlock, Fatal Bonds onto all of them, and now the Radiance Burn might start to work as soon as these BKBs wear out. Lina gonna be controlled and killed off. Off to the side, Tusk is dead as well. They're gonna run after this puck. There's no buyback on any of these heroes, and Remnants are not gonna be enough to run down the puck, but still a big win in that fight, and it shows the power of that Warlock ulti.
Yeah, they also got off a link. Instead of on the Sven, it was on the Lina, and Lina did not want to stay and fight all of that. And critically, because he didn't have the Bloodstone build, he's going to be out for a long time. We're so used to Lina just like dying in a fight, but being relatively ready for the next defense. And for the first time, Clutch Gamer wins a fight and gets to actually get objective out of that one. The question is, are they going to back off after the tier 2, or are they going to be taking a big risk here and going high ground? It looks like they feel like they need to take the risk.
They don't know that Lina doesn't have buyback, but it doesn't look like they're that concerned. They're still going to jump forward. The silence, the stun. It slows them down for the moment as the Golem is about to die.
They want the tier 3, but I think it's time to back off.
Yeah.
There's just no way with the Golem dying as well. So time to get out, and I guess for Clutch Gamer, wait for ultimate cooldowns and go make that same move again.
Well, what was looking really good for Execration, it feels like Clutch Gamers have stopped making those mistakes, not keeping lanes pushed out, you know, showing too many heroes on the map. And now finally they're in a position where if they win a fight, they can push down a lane and at least deal some amount of damage to these towers and start to whittle them down.
Still, though, I don't think there is much room for error for Clutch Gamer. So if any of these Execration and Smoke connect in a way where they get like 2 to 3 kills, this is the God Strength Sven we're talking about, right? Like,
yeah,
multiple lanes could be lost.
I think that they just smoked underneath this ward as well, so not sure if they're gonna. I mean, this should not connect. You see all of Clutch Gamers hanging out inside their base.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about some of the item progression that's coming out from both sides. Critically,
sorry, they're saying the courier in here to check for Roshan.
okay, well that courier's dead now, I think.
Maybe. Do they see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, it's in a spot where they can't quite see it.
Wow, what a technology. That is.
That's pretty cool.
All right, just park it on top of the lava. That's a good place easily to remember.
Yeah, and now they see that Sven's in there also. That's pretty neat.
All right. All right, anyways, if Rappy gets to finish his not Guardian Greaves, Aghanim Scepter, like, it could make his positioning much easier. And that's another way to nullify the Sven, right? We've talked about Diffusal carriers. During the draft, there is none in this lineup. So, although with that said, Sven is building towards it. So, what do you know?
Hey,
Diffusal
Sven, new meta. I guess he has a lot of damage already, and that talent at the level 25 is quite good for it as well. The thing that also has been a big problem in these fights for the side of Execration has been just sticking onto a target. There's a couple of those Force Staffs which have been quite useful for keeping everybody away.
I think Clutch Gamer also have problems sticking onto the target, because once their initial stuns are used, they basically just have to like run people down, which is never really the best way.
Well, now again, setting up everybody in the area while James can keep the split push game sort of going, pushing out the lanes. Eventually this is going to need to be dealt with. It does look like there's going to be a creep wave spawning right as this one comes in. But nonetheless, Clutch Gamers certainly don't want to give up any more racks needlessly. Zara is going to go in, spots out that Roche is there. A big team fight of brewing. How do you see this big one working out? Is it just sort of dependent upon who has the better vision?
Who has the better initiation? Can you link Razor / Sven? Can you rock the whole team? I mean, that last team fight, I think Clutch Gamer, like you said, had the better positioning anyways. It was very risky for Execration to go up sort of semi-high ground. But the big thing was Fly Solo got, what, a 4-man rock into a Fatal Bond?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fly Solo is, I'm just watching his positioning right now, and it's very scary to look at.
Rubik stole Burrow Strike. Okay. That's pretty decent. Got some good range and ability to turn around a fight with the stun. In the meantime, everybody just squaring off around Roche. And vision-wise, Dire have a little bit here by the pit, but Radiant basically none.
Okay, maybe that's what Execration is waiting for. They have Sven's Diffusal Blade now finished, and might surprise the Clutch Gamer in the next team fight.
Yeah. Is there anything else that it really purges off? I don't think there's anything super significant.
Flame Guard, I guess?
Yeah. He does get that extra absorption rate as his talent, so plus 500. Can soak up a little bit more of that damage.
I think just the movement speed slow might be like extremely relevant. You see Razor just going hard on your teammate, just pop a purge on him and help your allies to run away. That's also pretty big.
Team's not willing to take a fight. Again, for anybody watching, this is to determine one last game. Winner of this goes to TI. You don't want to make any mistakes. You don't want to overextend. Like, Rappy was just hanging out in the trees over here for a while.
I think we might see a smoke here coming out. Clutch Gamers got the courier.
In the meantime, Nando starting to beat away on Roshan. Everybody knows that this is up. Clutch Gamers going to begin to move in. They're going to scout out that Roche is just outside. Sigil there as well.
Yeah, there's no vision anywhere close to there. I guess there's a ward above the Roshan area by Radiant, but it's not really the important area. Both teams just like body checking it, using frozen sigils and everything.
Yeah. And every time this goes down, you are going to end up having to check over with everybody else. James, he has a TP. RR does as well. They're going to try and force back the rest of Clutch Gamers to defend the high ground here.
Well, having an Ember available, he's mobile enough where he shouldn't succumb to this kind of slip push.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Gabby beginning to beat away.
Now the difference is if James could pick the Ember, and I think they're thinking about making that play. RR does have a glimmer cape. He could force staff himself to lift, but at the same time, Armel does have Lincoln's finish as well.
They're looking for it, and Armel is just going to head back over here. He sends a Remnant out. It has to be timed perfectly. And that's something that is not easy to do in the least bit. All right, he's coming back in again. RR thinking about it. Now it's with Lena already gone. They're not going to do it. God, this has just been such, you can tell the tension is palpable between these two teams.
But here we go, 420 on Puck. Time to start getting moon shards. Look at that. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's insane.
He's going to have Hex. Maybe that's that's what it takes. Bind Hexes, moon shards, Dagon 5s.
I mean, if Puck does get one more item in between now and this next Roche fight, it can be game-changing.
Yeah. Or 3, you know.
3 new items. Yeah, that's the other possibility.
Oh, there's one.
All right, Hex is done now. I'm assuming the best target here is probably the Ember, I guess.
If you
Omni Knight's pretty good, too.
If you could get Warlock before his ult, that's good. If you get Sand King, that's also good. I think Sand King in particular deserve a mention because he is essentially all of their disable. Repeated disable at that, so.
Look at this. There hasn't been any kills going on since, I don't know, what's that, 7, 8 minutes? It's just all been fighting around this, or not even fighting around the Roche pit, but just
dancing.
Positioning.
Oh god, Sand King. Be careful.
Where you at, buddy? Backs Spooky dookie.
I wonder if they have seen Raging Potato since a while, because if they know that he has Hex, they need to play in a very different manner.
Yeah. And Lina just keeps on pushing out this top lane here. So, I mean, I guess this is the other thing, is Roche just the be-all, end-all? Oh, wait, hold on. We might have to hold that thought as it looks like they're heading up to the high ground. Boomback's going to be there. They have the opening from Raging Potato. He jumps in. He's been able to find a couple, but already going to be chained for the moment. They already have the Guardian Angel as well. Taking down one. Sand King is out of there. Nando maybe going to end up being linked up. Can they end up finding him? The Warlock ulti connects onto 2. Nando's going to back out. The Glimmer Cape's keeping him alive. RR is the one that's actually going to be linked up, and he's starting to fall. The force staff to the high ground, though. He's able to back out and away. And now Nando still in trouble, trying to get out of this. He's being chased up. Can the rest of his team group up with him and get there in time? Another Glimmer Cape. He's so low, needs to get out, but he's just gonna die.
That Radiance burn, though. On the right side here, RR Repel has Repel stolen, and he's running away. It looks like everybody's gonna reset, as there might have been some rat going on by the James.
Oh no, they caught him. And Rubik gonna end up going down here. So James trying to rat it out, doesn't really get anything for it, and with your Sven gone for 60 seconds and
they're
Rubik
gonna force
on for
some
40,
buybacks.
this should at least be Roche. Do you buy back for Roche?
That's a team decision. You can make an argument either way, right? Like, depends if you think that the Clutch Gamer getting Aegis will end the game. I don't think so. I don't think the buyback is necessary, but we'll see what call Execration makes. Also, critically in that engagement, Sanking did not lose this gem, as Rappy was able to pick it up. Now, Clutch Gamer does Roshan in the speed of a snail, so maybe that's why they feel like they don't need a buyback on the Sven. In fact, Sven's like 30 seconds away from respawn, and they are.
Oh, look at that play!
My God,
that's great. Oh, that's so good by the Tusk. Any little bit of time that you can delay this is amazing. And they're Yule sceptering Gabby as he ends up going for the jaunt out. Like all of this slow and delay and everything else, the shard's gonna block him in. They need to be careful here. It's not dropping
Sven's
quickly
back
enough.
in 5, so they could take a team fight. There is no rock. They have to back off.
Oh, that is huge. The delay tactics from Execration. And now with Sven back, Clutch Gamers, they can't really go in. Can they still contest? It doesn't look like it's going to happen, at least for now. They throw out another shard,
just
they block
blocks
them
him out, and that's Roche.
They can't get it. Force staff to the low ground. Boombacks tries to jump in. Can they come in and steal this one away? They want to go for it. Aegis on the ground. Nando picks it up, though, in time. Laguna Blade comes out. It's going to connect, but that's still going to be the Sand King left alive. And now they're stealing the damage from Sven. He has so many debuffs across the whole thing. 223 damage stolen. He's gone. But now, can they take the secondary fight? Lina hitting from the high ground. Nando turns, tries to get away. The Lincoln Sphere's on him yet again. They turn on to Boombacks. The snowball save, the turn. Lina's just dealt so much damage in this fight. Nando wants to fight, wants to hit something, but it's just not happening. He's dead yet again. The catch on the shards, but where's the rest of their damage? James needs to do it. He needs to hit hard. Guardian Angel comes out, and it's not going to be enough.
They need to heal. Everyone's so low HP right now. And Gabby resets, pops a Shiva. They want to actually chase on Limik. Limik does have a snowball. He will delay. Is he snowball to the Ancients? Yes, he is, but looks like the Nuke is going to take him down. There is the double gems on the deck. Rescue them gems. All right, they do pick it up. And now I think they're going to just go high ground to force some buyback. Rappy, all of the meanwhile going overtime, just keeping his team alive. We're going to need to see some buyback here from Execration.
Yeah, this is really bad. I mean, Nando ended up burning through the Aegis. They just stole so much damage with the Razor, and like his inability to stay onto anybody in the fight just really hurts. They steal a courier, but now Dagon is out for the puck. They buy back on the Sven, and that should be enough.
So towards the end of the draft, I said I think Sven is more or less smokes and mirrors because he's going to get counter, so his job is to tank. And that's kind of what happened in that last team fight, right? All of the damage mostly just came out from James, Lina, and as well as Raging Potato's puck. So I really like the way that they're changing their items. Raging Potato is going Dagon 5. He needs to repeatedly do damage. And I think once the Dagon 5 comes out, that might be a big problem for Clutch Gamer. Like, we've seen these team fights go down. Raging Potato never dies.
Yeah.
And that Dagon 5 is going to get used like 3 to 4 times in these team fights.
Well, and there's other things that come apart with this as well. We do see that the static link damage is increased from Razor, so while Sven can just be that big meat shield, also he can't be somebody that gives a ton of damage over to the Razor, because then he's just going to start like two-shotting supports potentially. And he has a butterfly now as well, added movement speed, evasion, it's all problematic.
That's true. I just don't think the Razor could stick on the Lina though, or
No,
the
definitely.
Puck. So yeah, you could one-shot like, I don't know, or two-shot the Rubik, but at the same time, Puck at the back line is also killing your support. So it's hard to say in terms of. I think Sven is doing all he can.
Yeah.
To essentially stay alive as long as possible.
I think this game is probably pretty far from over.
It could.
I don't
Zota
know.
2, who knows?
It's true.
Did you just see that damage output from the Puck? He took Gabby
Yeah.
to half HP. So like that's what the Puck can do. And that's not even Dagon 5 yet.
And that's the thing that is kind of spooky about this, I think, for Clutch gamers, and why, if they're probably playing this right, I don't think that they try and force issues that much. And I guess the scary thing, too, then, is that you're only getting more and more GPM onto the Puck. There's diminishing returns eventually, but it is a scary time when he gets into that Dagon 5 and whatever else he wants to go for.
Like him essentially being this rich fuels what Rubik can do, right? Rubik don't need to buy ward anymore. He doesn't need to buy gems anymore. He could concentrate on his ags.
Yeah.
Dagon 5, obviously, like I said, is a big thing. I also don't think Sven should be going for MKB because honestly, do you think he's actually going to hit people? I think like if he goes hard, just might be better. But maybe my way of reading this game is just incorrect. He thinks that he could still do damage, so.
I guess the theory is that you get multiple things you're afraid of. If you're not afraid of the Sven, then
They won't
can
link
just-
the Sven?
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair. I think he already has enough damage where if you don't link him, you will be afraid of him, though.
It's probably just for the butterfly and like the Radiance mischance, I guess.
Sure. Again, do you think he's going to hit people?
Probably not.
It comes down to
Maybe
that.
he hits creeps and then the cleave. there's the play.
All right, here we go. Clutch Gamers thinking about high ground. That tower at half HP. If they could get this building and get the shrines afterwards, it will be big for the next Roshan.
All right, and Gabby hitting away. You have Sven still ratting along this bottom lane, and he might be able to force some people back as the jump comes out. BKB force, that's value. Tower does go down, but they could potentially look to try and break some TPs here with the Puck. Although that is not going to be the full play, as Sven just going to back out. And one tier 3 tower down now apiece for each team.
I think the game might be equalized. Yes, there's a 10k net worth lead in front of Execration, but once Clutch Gamer takes down the shrine, then essentially they have the same amount of buildings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no tier 2s anywhere anymore.
It's just a question of how do you end the game for both teams, and it's not entirely clear what that answer is.
Yeah, kill people.
Which is, can you win the team fight? And James now starting to get into the high damage Lina role, already has that fiery stole per stack increase of movement speed and attack speed, which can definitely output a ridiculous amount of damage. You do have to be worried about the blade mail.
Yeah. I think the next step is Bloodthorn, obviously. If you could pop I mean, in theory, the hexes from the Puck and the Bloodthorn, if you could kill the Sanking or something like that, kill the Fly Solo, that is the goal.
Puck again, just testing the waters, Dagons, and then backs on out yet again. You do have the Sven pushing along the top lane. All of this damage is going to be regen by the melee barracks. And with the constant spam out of abilities, Sven still pushing, causing trouble, but will not fully commit towards pushing for the tier 3 tower.
All right, I love this is the final game, right? Like,
Yeah, it is.
there's no better game to
Yeah.
decide who gets to go to TI, because if you win a game like this,
Oh, this could be the game-winning smoke for Execration if they can make this move happen.
Fly Solo is in a very awkward position right now.
Yeah, and you know what? Armel, he's not there with the rest of his team. They're going for the big wraparound, but yeah, it looks like they're not fully confident in it. They're just
There's
gonna
a
have to
big
back
wave.
out.
There's
Yeah.
a big wave on bottom. They need to tend to this.
Yeah,
The two Bugattis are going to do a lot of damage to that tier 3.
and they're going to get here in time, it looks like. Raging Potato pushes that one out, and that's the thing. Execration maybe a little bit too excited to go for the play, then not realizing that wave was pushing in.
I wonder if it's correct for Raging Potato just to stop farming and give, like, Puck, or not Puck, you know, give the Tusk or the Rubik some ability to farm.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because their abilities aren't great at it necessarily, and it puts them in a little bit of a risky spot as well.
Sure. That's always, like, you know, Puck is one of your best wave clearer.
Yeah.
Although, surprisingly, Tusk didn't take the plus 150 snowball damage, because if he did, he can one-shot a whole wave with Ice Shard and Snowball.
Yo, that 90 GPM over this long game, though.
Okay. Here we go.
Gabby repelled up. Not going to get hit by the Light Strike Array. Is going to be caught again. A bit of damage coming from Armel. The jump in from the Puck and a back out again. Dagon Boomback. Chase him away. The Shards not blocking in Gabby, and still the damage is going to be going forward on the melee barracks. Another repel. They can't really fully commit to this one, and rooted for the moment, they need to be a little bit careful. Dream Coil, it's down onto 2 of them. That's going to be a long duration stun on the tether. Armel able to dodge away from it. Sand King can come back in a second if he wants.
There is no split push going on towards the side of Clutch Gamer's space, so Gabby and the rest of the team has all the time in the world. They get to back up whenever they want. Burrow Strike initiating. It will miss on James, but Gabby will not miss that rack as he hits away.
He's rooted though. This is a dangerous spot. He's down to really low HP. If
Oh,
Armel is
Armel?
able to get him,
Okay.
this is the really scary part too, is that the long duration roots coming out from Ember Spirit means that you can also get the burn damage applied.
Armel back up to 2 fire remnant charges. One thing you need to be okay. Burrow Strike finds one on the right side. It's going to be the Puck orbing out. He is dead. He has buyback obviously as a Puck, but
there it is. The buyback comes in. Gabby still trying to go. The Blade Mail. This is all committing for just 1 Rex. So they end up finding it, but
what's stopping them from doing the same thing on a
Exactly.
different lane?
They need to get the split push game going from Execration, and it's really hard to make that happen. I'm guessing bots bots are already out for James. Maybe also getting it for the Sven even at a certain point. But it's just so hard right now.
All right, we got TP on the bottom side from Armel. I wonder what he's going to be going for. 8,000 go in the bank.
Yeah, I don't think that
Mjolnir?
there's much in his inventory.
I'm not sure
that he wants to
Mjolnir
get rid
does
of.
much.
I think that one of the biggest pickups in this game for him was the Octarine core and allowing him to keep these lanes split pushed out.
Refresher? Is that a thing where you just get more remnant charges? That seems crazy. I don't know.
I honestly wouldn't hate going for some more physical damage if you wanted to.
Okay.
Whether it's like a Bloodthorn or something
Yeah,
like that.
Bloodthorn sounds nice. Oh, 2 big item pickups here.
And Puck, did he end up buying anybody a Moon Shard? Not yet.
Oh, he's got it queued up.
Yeah.
That is his next goal. I think Lina is probably the one that you want to buy Moon Shards for, not the Sven.
So we talked about how it doesn't really stop, there's not much to stop Clutch Gamers from sieging like this. But the flip side of that is that there's not much to stop Execration from pushing out these lanes. They have a ton of wave clear right now.
Other than the fact that if you think you're going to die, split pushing, right? I don't think Clutch Gamer has very good catch, but they have enough to, like, if let's say Sven is just out there by himself, they will kill him. So they got to respect that. I mean, we saw just now Puck being outside his base.
Yeah.
Just next to the base, he got picked. So
And
that
if
is,
he does die again, that's really
that's the
bad.
game if he does die again.
Well, might be able to hold off still. And I think that this is a lineup from Execration that can hold Mega Creeps also if we get to that stage. It feels like we've had so many of these games in the qualifiers, which is like going the distance over an hour or so.
Bottom lane looks like that's going to force a TP or 2. Armel will tend to that.
Okay, so they're bringing Nando back, and James is going to look for a pick-off here. If he can kill off Armel, this is huge, but Sand King is there as well, and yeah, seeing the TP in, just force it back again.
He could only kill Armel if there's some way to take down the Lincolns, because he needs to add that Bloodthorn in.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like crazy to like Laguna the Lincolns to then apply the Bloodthorn with the LSA stun and just right-click him down.
No, I think that's actually a really good idea. I think that's definitely the play. Because like the damage that he's dealt, the Flame
The
Guard
physical
absorption,
damage is more than like whatever Laguna could deal.
Yeah, the Flame Guard absorption might take care of all of the Laguna Blade damage anyways. Like it's, what, 850?
Yeah. Speaking of Bloodthorn, I think that adds a new aspect of what they could do in the defense. If the repel is down, which it's going to be hard to find a time where repel is down, you could Bloodthorn and kill the Razor.
This is a little bit of a bait going on right now. They want to try and find him. Missed the light strike array. James needs to get out now.
Yep.
And the jump forward shades. They got him. James is in a hell of a lot of trouble. They want to turn. They want to try and find this kill, but it's not going to happen. And they end up losing Alina. It's a play that you kind of feel like you have to make, but it hurts bad when it goes wrong.
Yep. And now Clutch Gamer needs to run down mid just to force out the buyback. It's not really to like win the game or anything, but or are they going to just do the Roche and that in itself might force out the buyback?
This game has had so many different like things go on in it. The early great play that came out from Execration where they were able to pull Clutch Gamers around the map. The reaction to that where Clutch Gamers slowed it down, have slowly pushed out the waves, and now basically dominated the entire map.
Yep.
I feel like it's been a really good final series for this one, and obviously deserving whoever it is that ends up taking it home.
Yeah, as soon as the split push stopped, it felt like the pacing of the game was back on the side of Clutch Gamer, where they get to do what they do best, which is the 5-man death ball. Execration has not been able to find a proper answer for the death ball, and as a result, Rax has gone down, buyback has been forced, Aegis and Cheese now claimed. Now, Razor with the Aegis in front, it's going to be hard to envision a world that you could kill Gabby twice, especially through Guardian Angels. There's also double Guardian Angels I haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, the Omni Knight refresher there. I mean, it's double Repel too.
Yeah.
Double Guardian Greaves, everything. I really want to see the Puck and the Lina grouping together to take down Armel. I think that needs to happen if they want to win this game. Like, Armel has to die.
Well, he is very elusive, right? With Lincoln's here. With so many ability to get Remnants back because of the Octarine. In fact, he's got Bloodthorn now as well. Raging Potato in the front. He does not have buyback.
They need to win this fight hard, and it needs to be big. Gabby is still there with the Aegis. They can't go on him unless they can blow him up real quickly. They missed the Light Strike Array. It's not the best way to start it off. A lot of damage being dealt. They Warcry as well. He's taking a good bid, though, for the moment. The Razor brought down to about half HP, but the Purification is there. Not quite level 25, so he doesn't have that added damage.
Yeah, they'll just go back. Let Rappy just pop a couple of Purification. Like, there is no pressure whatsoever. In fact, Armel is even going to go mid to apply a little bit of pressure there.
Yeah, and all of these lanes are pushing in. This is feeling like Execration have so few outs. They have to win a team fight. And with the Warlock ulti there as well, they jump forward. Rappy is still there as well. They have the Burrow Strike if they need it. Gabby still brought down to half HP, has the Aegis. The Burrow Strike is not going to bring down James. Shard's not going to take him down. And only a 1K net worth lead right now. Struggling to find an answer to this just group up, push the lane strategy coming out from Clutch Gamers. Gabby repelled up.
They got Armel!
They caught him. That's the damage. That's what they needed. The Guardian Angel comes too late, and now
Stolen
they
Guardian
as well. They turn it back around. Guardian Angel can come from the Rubik if they want to. A Hex is there as well for Sand King. Now he's going to start to drop. They're able to get the lift off. That's another one going down. Warlock is dead as well. They all have buyback, but having to commit the buyback at this point would be tremendous. A great team fight win.
Yeah, Armel just making a mistake, whether did he not activate Fire Remnant or just getting caught. Whatever the case was, his one mistake has cost 3 kills. Now, I'm not sure how much Execration could do off of that. Like, all the waves are pushed in. Maybe, like, look at the big goal. There's a golem mid lane just pushing the range racks as we speak. So they need to go tend to that as well. The next creep wave is also dead.
Well, they have one with them still, the double catapults. And if they need to, this bottom lane is going to have creeps in it also. That's the one plus side, is that Execration have been able to build into all of these split pushing items, and they got boots of travel to get wherever they need to be.
Yeah, Razor needs to sit in front of his Raxes right now. He's got the Aegis, but I think Execration is thinking about doing a double lane push.
And they don't have the control for this. They have too much damage. That's a lot there. Onto the Lina. James needs to run away before he gets taken down by Gabby. Lemic there as well as RR. That's going to be able to keep him back. Raging Potato jumps in. Dream Coil onto 2. James is there as well. The stun, the catch, the damage. Is going to be enough. Sand King, that's a dieback. Now they've got the Razor. They're going to be able to run him down. Only the Aegis. Armel is going to be back up in 10 seconds. They might need him sooner than that, though, to keep Gabby alive. There's the BKB pop. Turn to fight. But it looks like they're going to be able to zone them out. Split pushing, dodging. They're going to get a lane of Rax off of this. And the blink away. They don't have the control for all of these mobile heroes as we see Nando head up top.
And yeah, Nando trying to do whatever he can to keep a couple more heroes in the base. They have not lost anybody yet. I think they are feeling bold. I think it's time for them to back off, though. Again, Execration might be thinking they need to take some big risks. And they're hanging around. They're looking for another pick. If they could pick, let's say, the Warlock right now.
I mean, really, any of these heroes without buyback.
Actually, Warlock doesn't have Rock yet, so maybe that's why they're hanging around.
Yeah. 35 seconds away. Raging Potato jumps in, and again, just dealing this damage, catching Gabby, making him uncomfortable, while top lane's going to be pushed in by James. Oh, he has a DD rune as well. He deals almost 500 damage a hit. So Nando's going to hit mid while the Lina pushes up in this top lane, and Armel, I don't know if he has enough damage to burst through these guys in time. James just starting to deal out the damage. They have the Guardian Angel, which was still stolen from the Rubik. James popped the BKB. There's nothing they can do to this. He's just going to keep hitting the barracks, taking it down. Mid lane. It's going to be where the next action is gone towards.
Oh my god, these Raxes are a paper. Nando just going on the melee Rax. He gets that too. The range Rax soon to follow. Here comes Fly Solo's Rock. They stunned him up. Nando doesn't care. He's a tank. He's trying to buy more time. That's mega creeps here off of one mistake by Armel. They will lose all 3 heroes. And Clutch Gamer has one go at it. In fact, they find the Sven as well, but they all have buyback. So Clutch Gamer needs to win one more fight on the opposite side of the barracks.
And Roche isn't back up for a very long time.
I don't think it's time for Roche. Yeah, it's time to win. That's it.
This is a huge problem right now. They've got to push in the mega creeps, and it was just the elusiveness of all of these heroes. You have the Lina who's able to move at such high movement speed. They have very few stuns outside of ultimates, and mega creeps now down there. And like you said, just that one small, minute mistake from Almel turned into catastrophe.
It's the fact that RR stole Guardian Angel as well, and they check for the double damage rune. It's just like all the stars aligning. Here we go, Clutch Gamer. This is it. They have to win the game right here.
All right, Armel, he has that Bloodthorn. They've got the damage that they need. Are they going to get the buybacks? The Tier 3 tower starting to fall in the bottom lane. Are they giving up too much? Execration. They don't want to end up giving back mega creeps the other direction, certainly, but they might be willing to let at least this fall.
Yeah,
the buybacks
they
might
need
come
to
later.
defend the top, right?
Yeah.
The top racks.
All right, so the damage being dealt. 2 lanes now down. It looks like they're still going to have to buy back. That's the thing. You put all of this they're going to buy back on the Sven. Lina's going to be back up soon. It looks like she wants to hold her buyback at the very
Backdoor
least.
protection's on. They don't have the creep wave in here.
Oh, the Dream Coil there, on to 2. Damage being dealt out. They pop the God Strength, turning, wanting to fight, wanting to jump forward. Armel is still caught, but he's going to end up going for the Remnant backing away.
All right, stunning onto the Razor.
James,
look at the damage. Okay, Guardian Angel's being forced out. You got to keep in mind. Oh,
Refresher.
Okay,
double
Refresher
Dream Coil. They're going for more here.
Fly Solo is awkwardly standing in front. I think he might just have to throw himself towards the enemy side. No, his teammates are going to back him up. And now it's going to be the Rubik getting caught out. Rubik's going to go down. Bottom and top waves are being pressured
they're keeping in, though. Armel needs to head back and away, so they're not going to be able to fully commit to this.
All right, Armel is going to try his best to push out some of these waves. It will take him a long time. You also got to keep in mind that they have backdoor protection onto the top rack, so even if they could walk up to the high ground, I don't think they could outdamage backdoor protection. It's time for Clutch Gamer to go back. Roshan spawning in about 35 seconds, and of course Execration could claim that.
All right, big things happened right here now. It's still a mega creeps versus super creeps basically on a couple of these lanes.
Mega creeps wins.
Yeah, every time. But it's not inconceivable that you have Clutch Gamers just make a miraculous run down mid.
Oh, that could happen. Yeah, definitely.
Aghanim Scepter is there for Warlock. Any other big talents that are up at this stage? Let's see. We've got level 25 on Sven. He ended up taking the damage a while ago. Omni Knight, I believe, actually went for the Purification heal. Makes a lot of sense there. The big things, though, are the buybacks. And right now you have 2 more of them left on the Radiant, while 3 are left on the Dire.
I wonder if Fly Solo's choice of getting a Aghanim is worse than Refresher. I think it is. I feel like having 2 rocks is just more important, like 2 stuns from the rocks.
Yeah.
Is just more important than having 2 rocks on a summon. I don't even know how much the rocks do anyways, but it's his item that he ended up going for, so.
God, look at Armel can't even really stand up to this. It's definitely one of the problems that we've seen is even though he has 10 armor base, it's just not enough to stand up to the
Make the
Lina,
creeps.
certainly.
Yeah.
Oh, Ags here for the Razor. Okay.
That's... I felt like if they had Axe Razor like previously and those pushes, would have been making them like that much faster.
Somehow, the Ember has maintained a gold lead over the 420 GPM Puck.
Okay. I mean, Puck's been buying a lot of items for his rest of the team. I've seen him buy like tomes. I
There's
see him
moon
buying,
shards now.
Yeah, moon shards. So a lot of his GPM is, you know,
I guess that's fair.
in his teammates and stuff.
But
Like, is GPM what really matters right now?
no, it's not. It's
Yeah,
just kind of
not,
nuts to me.
Yeah.
Armel's been having himself a hell of a game, and it's, I mean, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because he has 9,000 gold in his inventory that's doing nothing.
Armel has 667 creep kills. That's cool.
Okay.
Maybe he could buy moon shards for the Razor.
67 minutes in, though. This is the moment where, I mean, one of these teams is going to TI, and it definitely feels like it's Execration that are in a heavy lead. It's only 1,000 gold lead, but really the big thing is the damage, as it does look like Puck not going to get caught right at the start. The smoke breaks. He's going to be able to back out, jaunts away before they can catch him.
Coil has been used, but at this point, doesn't really matter. He has a refresher anyways in his backpack, although that's been down
He was
for
on
a
the
while.
courier for a second. Not sure why exactly. DD bot, another game-changing rune.
Oh, the reason why you want the refresher on the courier instead of your backpack is
right.
that the cooldown is twice as long in your backpack. So.
Well, Puck still wanting to hold on to that for the moment. Double Dream Coil with the Aghanims, obviously hugely impactful in these fights. James, the MKB done for himself, means he can just hit away at this Razor. Looks like.
I think one kind of one thing that Clutch Gamer could do if this game just like lasts for a long time, might not last a long time anymore. Here we go.
Solo, they jump in, they caught him already. Nando going to be controlled, and Armel is there as well, immediately trying to go for the TP. If they had a refresher, might have been able to fully commit for that
Rock
one.
is down, everyone is out.
Oh man.
That is going to be 160 seconds where the Fly Solo does not have a rock. That is a huge gambit that they went for. And it's funny to see these Mega Creeps winning against two Golems.
It hurts.
Yeah.
My God.
Okay, well. So as I was saying before that engagement happened, I think one thing that Clutch Gamer to do is have a refresher on Razor and just go full disco, double Eye of the Storm, and go for a GG push.
I think that's reasonable completely.
But, you know, you have to have refresher, you have to have buyback, so that he's going to be a...
I also don't know if he's tanky enough. That's the other problem. Like, Lina just destroys him in these
Well,
last
he's got
couple
double
fights.
Guardian Angel, right? So.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, that actually might be the play. You just run in and take my body.
But I don't know. These creep waves are looking pretty big. Okay, Roshan is sort of being done.
I don't know if that matters, actually. It looks like right now Execration want to go for the GG push. If they can catch Armel here, do they have the puck in the area? He might be looking for an opening if they had him there. But Raging Potato not willing to take that chance. And instead, it's just going to be Roshan going down. God, I think that if you take down Armel there, that's...
They were still thinking about it.
Yeah, this could be huge. Raging Potato looking for that opening. Armel is playing around this so well. He was a little bit of a problem for him before, and now showing his face to jump forward. They got the Hex. Armel, he's going to end up falling.
Guardian Angel again late. That was the problem last time as well.
Oh, wait, and now you look at this over here. Mimic, he can go in and maybe even think about still coming to contest for Roche.
Fly Solo recognizing that his life is not worth anything right now. So he's going to send in front, perhaps even like draw a spell or two. Here comes...
Oh, he jumps in. They've got him. There's a big Dream Coil that comes out. Raging Potato catches on to everybody. The refresher comes out from Rappy. Guardian Angel is finally there, but they're all falling apart. So much damage.
Stolen
That's the
Guardian
Warlock
Angel!
on, and they're going to be able to turn it against him. Nando picks up the Aegis. This could potentially be the nail in the coffin. James just standing on the outside, tearing them all to pieces. Execration. They've waited so long for this, and potentially with this dieback on Armel that's coming, an ultra kill for James. Execration might be going to Seattle.
I think they are. I don't know how the hell a Razor could hold against all of this. Here comes the entire team. James The moving ion cannon just like pumping damage into this building. Tier 4s are down. I'm not sure how they're going to hold the base. Raging Potato adding
This
some
is
damage. Nando's in here as well, but still Aegis. They are going to take down the throne. GG is called, and Execration will be your final C representative to TI7.
Oh, and you've got to feel for Clutch Gamers in this instance. They qualify for so many different lands leading up to this, and in the end, it doesn't end up being enough at those. But simultaneously, congratulations to Execration. I mean, you've talked about this before. These players, they're mainstays in the region. Everybody knows these guys. Nando with the legendary puck doesn't end up actually playing in the game that sends him there. But talk to me a little bit about what you're thinking about these players and what it must mean to them.
I think this game really shown Execration, even though they don't play together at times, that first 15 minutes, 20 minutes where they just like, okay, we're going to split push now. We're going to just hold down the fort. They play super, super clutch. I don't know how big of an impact they would make at the TI running, but if they play like that, like today at TI,
yeah,
I think they can make a really deep run.
Absolutely. And at the very least, we've seen C teams come in and upset people as well. They've made those types of plays at times, and big, big stuff indeed. Congratulations to Execration. Man, my prediction's saved.
I don't think your predictions matter at all
I don't think
right
they
now.
do at all. Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
congratulations once again to Execration.
Yeah.
Even Clutch Gamer, it must have felt terrible for like Armel, getting caught Rappy with his late Guardian Angels, but there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. Hopefully they will do better next season. I hope to them they stay together.
Oh, wow.
I think Clutch Gamer is a very strong team, and I don't want to see them like disband or change players or stuff like that.
So after 111 minutes, Tsunami, you've just been sitting there patiently listening.
Oh, this is
to
111 minutes? I didn't
Yeah.
know. It was
It was a barn burner, that's why.
Yeah. How you feeling?
It's definitely a heartbreaker loss for Clutch Gamers.
Yeah.
It was, especially whenever it's like the final qualifying game and like it's on a precipice the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
There was no real confident winner at any point, but it's still. I too, like Lumi, hope they stay together. And Southeast Asia in general has been better about sticking together as rosters. Clutch Gamers has made it through many qualifiers. Unfortunately, the one that may have mattered the most, they didn't make, but they still got second place, and that's incredibly respectable.
Totally. Well, I am excited to watch the video that I'm sure is going to come out a little bit later of, Clutch Gamer or either Execration celebrating like crazy.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the other thing.
That's going to be the dream. I can't wait for
all
that.
right. Are they gonna have shirts on or
That's
off?
the question that I
Yeah.
always ask.
I think that they're going to be
Because
off.
Fnatic
shirts?
had one no shirt, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited for that then.
All right, I'm out. Like, this is a long game.
All right,
I feel
Lumi's
drained.
had enough. He's
Yeah.
done. We can take a look at the final brackets. Fnatic, Execration, and of course TNC going to be your teams at TI
Wait.
from Southeast Asia.
What is up with this bracket?
Well, C has 3 slots, right? So
Yeah.
Fnatic goes through, and the last 2 teams goes through as
Oh,
well. So
there's a best of 3 that's going. Yeah, that's not. That's
we're not gonna have
There
Fnatic
we go.
versus
There we go.
Execration best of 3. They're just qualified.
They're green.
Yeah,
They're good.
Yeah.
Rob
all
says
good.
that he can't remove that, so that's fine.
Just pay attention to the qualified thing. The best of 3 means that they are best of the 3 teams that made it to the top 3.
That's right, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a quick little sign-off here. EU is going to be taking place next. I believe that there might be some Southeast Asian Dota going on as well. Nope. CIS Dota going on, not Southeast Asian. We're done with that for now. But yeah, been a pleasure casting. Lumi, any final words here as the resident almost C expert?
What do you mean almost the expert?
Well, because you live in Hong Kong. That's almost C, right?
That's literally C.
oh, okay.
Actually, is it?
I mean,
It's almost C.
I mean, if you exclude the China region, then
Yeah,
maybe.
that's how it works.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Is Hong Kong China? That's not the time for this debate. Anyways, can we just go?
No.
Right.
Here's one question. Okay, how do you think they'll stand compared to the other invitees? Because that's always the question with Southeast Asia teams. Fnatic, Execration, how do they stack up against the other international teams?
I think Fnatic is definitely up there.
Yeah.
Execration, if they could play their A game, they're up there as well. But I don't know if Fnatic or Execration could play their A game every day.
I'm with you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a hell of a qualifier so far. More action to come, as this is just the first of the final qualified teams. Another couple of days of these, and we're going to be probably dead. But most importantly, have all the teams that are going to be there for TI. See you guys in just a few for more EU Dota.